video is good rat cages. I will also be doing bad rat cages, but in another video. In this video I'll be including lots of cages, different types, why I recommend each cage, also give you a couple of good websites to check out for these cages and more. Now I won't be giving all the information about each cage, as that will make the video very long and boring, and there are so many cages to go through, and you may find yourself forgetting them anyway. So for an easier option, instead I've decided to include a link to each cage with all the information in the description, so you can go check that out if there's any cage you're interested in. Hope you enjoy and learn something. Firstly, always remember before choosing any rat cage that it meets the following conditions, which are 1. The cage must be 80 by 50 by 60 centimetres, which is the minimum size for rats. Keep in mind it should be 2 square feet per rat. But always remember, the bigger the better, especially if you're housing more than 2. Also, some rats can outgrow the minimum size, so think carefully when picking the size for the amount of rats you have. 2. The cage must have room for basic supplies, ground space for them to run and play, and height space for them to climb. And ensure that there's bars everywhere, so you can allow yourself to attach levels. And it's best to have barred or mesh tops so you can hang different toys, as rats love to climb on them and they really do enjoy being high up in the air, so please consider this too. 3. The bar spacing must be half an inch. If any bigger, rats can escape through this. And 4. I suggest if you are going to house rats in any bird or ferret cages and chinchilla cages, if the bar spacing is over half an inch, the mesh all over with a small spaced wire mesh or chicken wire, to prevent them from escaping, including any of the cages I recommend in this video. Also, most bird cages will need modifying, which includes taking off any barred grid bases and levels, or cover them up well with a soft flooring, for example a thick layer of fleece, so they won't be sitting on bars. Barred or mesh bases are not good for rats' feet to be constantly walking on. It can cause swelling and sores on them, in other words known as bumblefoot, so please ensure you take those out or cover them up. And this includes any of the following bird cages I recommend in this video. So those are the conditions that you should consider. So now let's get on to the good cages. First good cage types are the double levelled cages sold for rats, so ones like the Liberta Explorer cage. I have this cage for Cookie, but when I had both rats, they really loved it and they explored everywhere. For starters, it's huge. It offers plenty of ground space and bar climbing, and it has levels for them to explore on too. I would call this the perfect rat cage. Next is the Rat Royale Suite 95. This is a great cage. It's very large and provides all the cage conditions and more. Another lovely cage for rats. Another one is the Little Zoo X-Trail Animal Cage. This offers huge ground space and has brilliant height and levels too, so it's a wonderful rat cage. Another lovely cage is the Critter Nation. These are huge cages and offer plenty of ground space and levels for them to explore on, and you can buy this over in US and Canada too. Another great cage is the Furplus Ferret XL Tower Cage. The bar spacing is over half an inch though, so you will need to mesh all over the bars, but this offers plenty of ground space, height space and comes with levels too, and I would highly recommend this as a wonderful rat cage. Next are the level type cages, so ones that have suitable sized bases with some levels going up inside the cage. First one are any of the Freddy cages, so ones like the Freddy 2 rat cage. These have good sized bases and have levels rats can climb and jump on. They also have great height for good climbing. Next is the Jenny Furplus rat cage. This is a good minimum size, it offers a nice amount of ground space and has great height. I also recommend the iMac rat cages, so ones like the iMac Rat 100 Double. It is a great size for rats and offers brilliant height space and has great ground space for them to explore on too, and comes with levels. Another is the Pet in Alfie 2 Double Rat and Chinchilla cage. It is a wonderful size for rats with plenty of height and has levels and offers good ground space. Next is the Furplus Ferret XL cage. This is a lovely size, it offers more than the minimum and has such a great height too. Now the bar spacing is over half an inch, so I'd recommend you mesh all over the bars. Next is the Preview Hendrix Large Black cage. Again, it's a great size, it has good ground space and offers good amount of bar climbing too, but again it will need modifying. Now going on to ferret cages. Now there are quite a few suitable ferret cages for rats, just keep in mind most of them will need meshing as bar spacing tends to be over half an inch, including the ones I'll go through now. For US and Canada, a great one is the Ferret Nation Double Unit. This is huge, offers plenty of ground space lovely height for bar climbing and levels to explore on, but the bar spacing is over ½ inch, so again, it will need meshing. Another one is the Ware Manufacturing Living Room Series Deluxe Ferret Cage. This offers good amount of ground space, plenty of levels to explore on, and lots of bar height for good climbing, so it's a great suitable rat cage. And lastly is the Feisty Ferret Cage. It is a great size, offers lots of bar height and comes with levels, but the bar spacing again is too big, so we'll need meshing. Other than that, it would make a lovely rat cage. And lastly, going on to chinchilla cages. Now a quick mention, the bar spacing on some of the chinchilla cages can be over ½ inch. So if you're buying a chinchilla cage with too big bar spacing, then don't forget to mesh it all around with small spaced mesh. The first cage is the Furplast Chinchilla Cage, which is in the UK. This cage gives the minimum ground space, has very good height and levels attached so rats can explore on them, therefore making a good rat cage. Another one is the Chinchilla 3 or Ferret Cage. It's sold in UK. This cage is huge. It offers way more than the minimum, plenty of ground space, height space and levels for rats to explore on, but the bar spacing is a little too big, so it would require meshing. But other than that, the result would be perfect. And lastly, another great cage is the Chi Chi 2 Chinchilla Cage, also in UK. It offers just over the minimum size, good height space and comes with levels too, so it'd make a lovely cage for rats. So now I'll give you a couple of DIY cage ideas. So the first one is using CNC grids. Now the credit for this photo I'm showing you goes to my good friend Hamster Lover Forever One. She decided to build her cage out of these for her rats and she tied them together with cable ties and then put mesh all over them. Such a great idea, right? Now most CNC grid spacing is too big, so they will need meshing with small spaced mesh. What I love about this type cage is you can make them however big and tall you want. So you have lots of ground space, plenty of mesh on the sides so they'll have good height space and levels too, and the result is great. It would make a wonderful well-built cage for rats as you can see here, and all at an inexpensive price. And lastly, another one, if your rats are not chewers and don't like to chew wood, then surprisingly large wooden built cages with mesh up the sides and top can be a great option. They look like bookshelves, but the result is pretty good, and they're also fairly cheap to build. As long as you provide the minimum or more at the bottom, add some levels, include good height and mesh top to hang things, it would make a great cage for rats. But generally I would advise plastic or metal cages way more than wooden. So all those websites are worth checking out, and I'll be leaving all of them in the description so you can go check those out if you're interested, and all the links to each cage I mentioned in the video so you can find out all the information about each cage. And that's it! So there's some of the good suitable cages I recommend for rats. Now I may have gone a little overboard with the amount of cages, but I wanted to show you as many as I could to help as many as I can. Even if it helps one of you, it's definitely worth it. So that's the video. If you're looking for a new rat cage, then I hope this has helped give you a good range of cages to pick from. Don't forget to look out for my bad rat cages video, which will be coming up soon. Any comments or questions, leave them down below. If you like our videos and like what you see, then go subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video and learnt something about this topic, then don't forget to hit that like button, and we'll see you next time. Bye!